Thanks for staying with us. Now, for those that are yet to see the Ikoyi Under Siege video, please watch this clip.
Of residence for the affluent in Lagos. Those who can afford it choose it for its serenity and security. From an aerial view, Banana Island and its environs are breathtaking, with its fast developing luxurious architectural masterpieces, beautifully arranged tree-lined streets, and quiet, serene environment. However, at close quarters, Turnbull Ikoyi Road and Banana Island Road residents are hit with a stark reality. They live in a ghetto. They are now overrun with street hustlers, squatters, unregistered taxis yelling out destinations. It's basically a scene you would usually find at overcrowded bus stops, reminiscent of Ajegule. There are multiple food sellers, barbershops, thugs, and gambling stations at every turn, perched under trees. There are boys clustered in large groups, smoking hemp and watching residents. No one knows who these trespassers are, where they came from, or what their mission is. What is obvious is that the supposed highbrow areas of Parkview Estate, Banana Island, and Ikoyi Road are under siege. Something needs to be done fast.
All right, so too many questions around this video. Should these concerns be just about Ikoyi or Lagos in general? In fact, Nigeria in general. Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join these conversations. Tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WeShow, or you send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Okay, so let me come to Uti first.
Wow.
Why are you gonna do me like this?
Because you are the Ikoyi baby.
I don't live in Ikoyi, folks. These women trying to set me up. I remember why I'm coming to you. I remember when the initial lockdown happened, when the COVID happened in 2020, the initial lockdown, and it now became almost like every estate trying so hard to gather food items and all of those things to give to these boys that hang around and all of that, because everybody saw this looming danger that very soon is a big threat, that any time if these people can't find the food, because there was no movement and everything, normally they would beg on the streets and people would give them money, but if they couldn't do that, they would probably start getting into people's houses. I remember you told us how your Chevron drive, the video and all, so maybe we should start with what, first of all, how can you make sense of this video? Then should this be about Ikoyi?
So I had, as you know, Uti always marches to the beat of her own drum. When I saw this video, even before I started to read the comments, we've always talked about us being in a unique powder keg situation, where you have the masses are teeming. There's no surprises. I don't think there's any single Nigerian who doesn't understand why we have this problem. There's a huge unemployment problem. There's a huge economic problem. There's a huge education problem. So there's no limits to the problems that are causing this. So this is just consequences. But what for me stood out with this video, first of all, there was I call them trespassers. They're trying to make a living. The video didn't give us enough. But like I said, wherever you live in Lagos, more so again, because this is technically a highbrow area. Now, one of the unique things I always say about Lagos is that for every highbrow area, right next to it, there are 2 or 3 slums, ghettos, you know, the natives of that area. If you take the whole of Lekki, you know, you look on one side of the road, it's okay. You look on the other side, every single part of Lekki has that. You know, even so-called Nikon Town, right next to it, you know. So that's the reality of Lagos. So we live in false security. So when we say insecurity, it's just when it comes to the your forefront, like, okay, we had some semblance of security in the past where you felt, okay, I could be out on the road at 2 a.m. and I'd feel safe if I was on the island. But the reality is you're never safe. It's just a full security. You are never ever safe in Lagos. It is, and because it's always crimes of opportunity. If you are talking on your phone at the traffic light, I know many people that have been slapped at Jack on Day and their phones collected. So you don't wind down. If you wind down and the gist is so sweet, you go and get slapped. so the reality of it is, if somebody sees the opportunity to rob you, they will, because they can get away with it. And, you know, phones are easy to flip. So they'll do that. So when we find ourselves, when I saw this video, I thought, well, there's nothing new now. Okay, so maybe because it's Banana Island, you know, that you feel, because it can't even be the whole of Ikoyi. I mean, Balende is right next door. So, you know, the fact that it's just this particular stretch of road that leads to probably one of the most exclusive parts of Lagos, which is a problem. Because if I take it outside of Nigeria, there is nowhere I can think of in the world, no, I haven't been everywhere, but that I can think of, where you have such a highbrow area. And I mean, in America, you get arrested while black just for walking around in an affluent neighborhood. So if you are standing around, if people can't quickly deduce why you are there, then for the benefit of just basic English, there's nothing wrong with trespasser. For the person who now is not sure why you are in their hood. You know, but the fact is, when you now take it broader, some people are just trying to make a living. The scavenger who is there thinking, let me just push my cart and sit on the side of the road until I can get up and walk again. The people who have said, they are laborers. Everywhere there's an estate that has buildings, real estate going on, buildings going on. You will find construction workers. Where there are construction workers, there are women that cook. There are men that barb hair. They are the gambling guys. They are the POS guys. It's an ecosystem that follows these people around. So maybe not fair to say without more insight, because, you know, these kinds of exposés, you'd like them to interview people and really understand why these people are there. But you can understand why it'd be unsettling for residents. It would really be, because you just think to yourself, any day, these people could turn on us. And
my point is that now that they are saying that Ikoyi, because this thing that you're saying, when I was living in Magodo, Jerry, when you come out of your house, I used to say to anyone that cared to listen, the security people there, they know you more than you know yourself. They know your movement, they know the timing, they know everything. It's the same thing anywhere you are. As soon as you get into your car, you're driving out, they know. And most of these people, do they have registrations? Do they have like an ID card? Do they have anything that you can identify with them if anything should go wrong? The answer is no. So when it comes to security, like you rightly said, we are living, we do not have, we're just...
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion, thank you. We're there, we think we have it, but it's not there. But let me come to Elsie first. Let me hear your initial thoughts first, before I not say my mind.
Oh, you've not said your mind?
I've not said my mind.
Oh,
though.
great. In the small mind that you said, I like that you are making it very clear that this is a Lagos state issue. We would not want to say it's the whole Nigeria right now, but at least let's just look at where our eyes can see and where we drive around daily and we see. So it's not an Ikoyi issue, it's not a Banana Island issue. Then looking at the video, as a content person, as a communications person, that could have been done way better. I was telling someone that this conversation in terms of looking at those that you consider poor and those that are middle class and well-to-do, we've been having this conversation for the past 2 years. I remember when we had the conversation around Circle Mall, where we have Circle Mall now, although it's been closed down for a while. That mall always gets vandalized because before you have what you have called Circle Mall now, it was a settlement for a certain people, and now you have Circle Mall, they are just opposite Circle Mall. So when anything happens, anything, if you say Buhari is shaking now, they jump into the mall and do whatever they want to do. And the mall has been vandalized not once, not twice, not 3 times. And it's just, like she said, consequences. It is not a fault of theirs or a fault of the people that are being vandalized, right? And the video also said, oh, we do not know where they come from or where they are trespassers. And in the conversations I've had with people as well, I'm saying, you cannot categorically call these people trespassers because you and I know where they come from. Nigeria is the capital of poverty in the world, right? When you're talking of the country with the most poor people, Nigeria is #1. So you cannot say you don't know where they come from. And also, she talking about construction going on. There are lots of construction going on in Ikoyi, construction going on in Banana Island. The people that are building this thing cannot afford the lifestyle that you have. They have to come there, have a settlement, because they don't want a situation whereby they come in, they build, or they do whatever they have to do, and then they go back to wherever they come from. There are few people who consider the people that work for them and ensure that they have somewhere to sleep and all that. The percentage is really low. So having a video that you put out there to start crying, secure Ikoyi, as if I have not been driving with my chest every day saying, God, I beg you, let me just get home safe. Like Ikoyi is the only problem. I think that video was just uncalled for. And whoever sponsored it should not even come out any day to say I'm the one
you
that
should not,
sponsored it. Because
we're waiting
if
for
you
you.
do, that's another problem. However, Lagos State needs to do better. Lagos State has a lot of work to do in terms of building development, in terms of things that are happening. Now you can call people trespassers when you have a place where you know this sort of things cannot happen and you see them doing it there. I was telling someone about my estate, right? So on Tuesday morning, usually in the mornings I go out for a run, and we saw those of us who came out to run saw a group of people gathered together, young boys. I don't want to call them hoodlums, but they looked like people who were just looking for somewhere to sit so that they can have access to one of the rich men in our estate who would always give them food during the fasting period, right? But because that was 5:30 a.m., when usually, if I go out to run, I'm very safe. I don't see anybody in the estate. I probably see the security guy and few other people who want to do the same thing that I'm doing. So we all just do hi, or nod your head, or don't greet if you don't feel like, and then go back into your house after doing like 30 minutes. But immediately I got to where those guys were, I mean, I'm a woman. I was worried, right? So you could imagine my reaction when someone raised it in the WhatsApp group to say, what are we doing about these people in the estate at this time of the morning, right? If they decide to do anything to me running at that time, who is going to save me? They will finish what they want to finish, and then I'll be a statistics in the conversation to say, that auntie that is living in that house, something happened. So what are we doing now to ensure? They're telling you, oh, we are going to make sure all the security guys have a tag, they have to be recognized and all that, and if they are seen trespassing, that they will be picked up. But you can't do that outside the estate because that is not your space. You do not own it. It's the job of the government to do it. You know, it's a multifaceted conversation that you need to go back to the situation. Like she said, she mentioned economy, she mentioned unemployment. It is a lot, right? And we cannot just wake up to say, these people are trespassers because they are Nigerians.
So excuse me, you just said something very pertinent. You say it's the job of the government. Now, how do you get water in your house? No answer, no. How does water come out of your tap?
Even power, electricity that we talked about a few minutes ago, we are providing it.
So we have been fending for ourselves.
Right.
So security too now, we are fending
We need to
for
fend
ourselves.
But wait.
But if you're defending yourself, there is a limit that you can go.
This is where I'm going to, because you cannot tell me I have done everything possible.
You know why you're saying so? Say, this thing you have said now is justifiable if it's an estate. Say, if the residents of that Turnbull Road and Ikoyi, if they put a gate at the entrance of that Ikoyi from Gerald, will this conversation change? Because we are banding around, not wanting to say. Will it change? Because we say it's okay if it's an estate. So if I don't have a gate,
It is not
I should wait for uninvited incursion, which is the definition, Webster's, of trespassing. Is that what you're waiting for? Like you said, nobody wants to be a statistic. Why is it a problem? Because it is Ikoyi. Why? Because we feel that this is the uber rich. We feel that they don't have a right. to security because they are part of Nigeria's problem. They are hardworking people with the money in that place.
I don't think people.
No,
think
because
they don't have
read
right
the
to
comments on Twitter now.
security.
Everybody has a right.
What?
So if I'm now paranoid because on my street I now have fear when I'm trying to get to my house, it's unfair to me.
No, but I'm trying to say to you that Uti, this fear, it is beyond Ikoyi. Your own is a short drive.
No, I agree.
My own that I drive longer
Ikoyi.
drive. Do you know how afraid I am every night? Every night as I enter the car, I pray, God, take control. And I drive all the way.
That's
you understand?
what I'm trying to say.
So my point I'm saying, this one, I'm not interested in, is what is the legal, because this thing we've been talking about it for a very long time, but it seems like you are talking from one mouth, it's entering one ear and it's coming out from the other ear. This thing, when this NSAS vandalism that happened, it was not protesters that vandalized. It was these same people that just hang around and do nothing. But I wanted to say that, when I was listening to the radio, when some people were calling about this Ikoyi stuff, the truth is, there is also something that is very big that nobody's looking at. What is the quality of life and livelihood that we have in Nigeria or in Lagos, for instance? Do you understand? You are living in Alagbado, you understand, and you are working in Ikoyi. The transportation costs that you're going to have to spend on a daily basis, from where you are to where you're working. Sometimes you just rather, let me just look for one corner to perch. So a lot of people were saying that, they'll go and beg security guards that, please, let me come and sleep with you in the house. So they say, oh, okay, just come around this time, or don't come before this time. That is how that community, this thing that he's saying, they're trespassers, they're whatever. Most of them, they have gainful employment, but how much is the salary that they are being paid? It cannot sustain them.
That's not a Nigerian problem.
Wait, now let me finish. He said, no. No, it's still gainful. Anything that you're getting money is gainful employment. But I was going to say that, housing, housing is a big issue. It's a Nigerian problem, Uti.
No. So
housing is a Nigerian problem.
Housing is a Nigerian
problem.
Let me tell you what you need to do, Uti. As a right-thinking government, in every neighborhood, right? Even though you cannot maybe erect a structure in Ikoyi. There's Obalende right next to it that is a cheaper whatever. Why can't the government mop up housing, proper housing, decent housing, like a self-contained? So these people do not need to hang around.
Excuse me, let me bring it down, because sometimes we are unfair to this Nigeria that we are in. Look, let me tell you, Hollywood, Beverly Hills, what's that place? Cabasas or whatever. You don't have this thing you're talking about. The people that work for them, they bus halfway.
And we don't have trains.
Exactly.
We don't have buses.
So that's my point. So let's stop talking about the consequences and start talking about the solutions. Why is transportation a problem? It cannot be housing. They cannot all live in the same neighborhood.
So
I agree with that.
Housing
is part of it.
Because as at 2013, if I'm not mistaken, they'll tell you the housing deficit in Lagos State, not even Nigeria. I think is it Nigeria or Lagos State? 21 million, and that number does not go up. It does not come down. It's always like that. If you go and check tomorrow, between 17 million and 20-something million, it is not going up, it's not going down. What exactly is being done, right? You have houses that are empty, and they tell you that people have done research, brought out documents, given to the government to say you need to start taxing these houses. If you don't have people staying in them, why exactly are they your houses? If you have,
let's take a break.
No, they have to. See, okay.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation.